Welcome to your Tarotscopes for Leo season. I am excited to be doing this. I haven't done it in a long time, and I'm a Leo, Aquarius moon here, so it's feeling like the right time for me to share and dive into the energy of this season with you all. We just got a flyer, so this we're calling the energy of this Leo season. This for everyone, for the collective. We have the Queen of Pentacles who flew out of the deck. The Queen of Pentacles is asking us to harvest during this Leo season. Think about all the things that we've accomplished this year, maybe this summer, and really indulge in the work you've been doing and honoring and celebrating it. I'm using the Mystic Fairy Tarot today for our Tarotscopes because it's just such a playful and luscious deck, which feels definitely in line with Leo season. So for the collective, the Queen of Pentacles is our tarot card for Leo season. This is a time, again, for harvesting, for enjoying the fruits of your labor. So it's a time of celebration and a time of really grounding. I feel like Cancer season was such a barrage of emotion, and it's really time to allow Leo to help us ground with the energy of the sun. Okay. Speaking of grounding, I think what I'll do with all of you, if you can, and if you're engaging with this video, I invite you to just take a moment to close your eyes. Feel your feet grounded below you. Feel your body sinking down into the earth. And take a nice deep breath in, pausing at the top of your inhale, and exhaling fully. All right. So, we'll begin with Leo, since it's our season. Going to do a little shuffle. I'm going to cut the deck thrice. Okay. So Leo, wow. King of Swords. So Leo, King of Swords. This is a really important time for you to speak your truth and to step into an energy of leadership that is really about truth and be in alignment with your truth. Perhaps it's time to set some new boundaries for yourself in your life, boundaries around work, boundaries in relationships, boundaries around how you show up for who. The King of Swords here, is really about flourishing, and it's about using no as a yes. So the more you can say no, the more opportunities you'll create for yes. So King of Swords for Leo. I would say this is a real time to reflect, refine your communication, and just really get in alignment with your truth. So make sure that you're taking time to get into the crucible of your mind and make friends with it. Doing some mindfulness practices, doing some journaling, having really clear and honest communication is really important for you Leos out there. Okay. Next we have Virgo. Okay, Virgo, we have the Nine of Cups reversed for you. I'll show you. Nine of Cups. So Nine of Cups is known as the wish card. And with Nine of Cups, whenever I see it reversed, it's really about allowing yourself to drop into that process of calling in your desires, connecting with your desires, connecting with your emotions in an honest way. So Virgo, it's really time for you to maybe get some perspective on what occurred during Cancer season, eclipse season, and reevaluate your desires. Tune into your wishes, your goals, your intentions, and make sure they are in alignment with you. I would also say don't be afraid to wish for what you truly desire. Like really allow yourself, give yourself permission. This is me giving you permission, Virgos, to want what you want and not be afraid of it. Okay, big magic for Virgos. That's the Nine of Cups reversed. And next we have Libra. Libra, we have the Eight of Swords showing up for you. So as you can see, this Fae being is kind of tied up in this cord of thorns, with the vine of thorns. With the Eight of Swords, it's important to remember to not get caught up in mental traps, mind games, manipulations of your own creation. If you are feeling stuck in any way, Libra beings, if you're feeling tied up in some way, tangled up in something, it's time to attempt to relax. Sometimes when we fight and struggle against something, it causes more resistance. So if you can try to ground, again, invoking that Queen of Pentacles energy, ground into what you have, what you're grateful for, and let the unknowns become something that is delicious and exciting to you, rather than maybe a stumbling block. So bringing it back, Libra, if you're feeling stuck or trapped in some way, afraid of what comes next, try to have some trust in the universe and see where that takes you. So Libra, Eight of Swords is your medicine for Leo season. Next, we have our Scorpio witches. Okay. So for our Scorpio witches, we have the Four of Wands, excuse me, coming up reversed. So you can see it, the Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands is really about looking into your future and calling in something that is beautiful, something that is abundant, something that is blessed by your authentic needs and desires. And so when we have the Four of Wands reversed, I would say you might need to reconsider what your future looks like. It might be a time of revision, review, reconnecting with old goals or old intentions and making sure they feel alignment with where you are now, with everything that's happened during the summer months. I would say this Four of Wands is really speaking about communication and also sharing, collaboration, what you're building with others. And so when I see this showing up reversed, it might be time to consider, who are your true collaborators? Who can you trust? Who has been there for you? Who is actually supporting you in compassionate and unconditional ways? So look around you, Scorpios. Really think about how you're showing up in a collaborative role, who your teammates are, who your beloved peers and co-conspirators are, and reach out to them. Don't feel like you're on an island, Scorpio, because you can have support if you call it in. All right, Sagittarius. Sagittarius, we have the sun for you this Leo season. That is such a blessing. So Leo is ruled by the sun. And now more than ever is the time to welcome and embrace the sun's blessings of illumination, of selfhood, of brilliance and nourishment. So for those Sagittarius witches out there, I would say enjoy yourself, number one. Connect with the simple pleasures in life, the things that are easy for you to do, that make you feel amazing, that make you feel like your best self. It's about shedding some of the complexity of your daily life and really honoring your basic needs. So Sagittarius, enjoy this time with the sun. All right, Capricorn. Oh, Capricorn jumped out. Okay, Capricorn, we have the Seven of Pentacles here for you. And this Seven of Pentacles is such a gentle one in this deck. There's a fae being who's like working with these mice friends and have all these beautiful pentacle pendants around them. And so what I want to say about this for our Capricorn folks is you've been working really hard. And I think it's time for you to honor your process and just take a step back if you're having any thoughts of like perfectionism or dissatisfaction, and see what you've truly built and see what you've accomplished and honor how far you've come in your process. It's a time to review your processes, make sure that you're being kind to yourself, and honoring everything that you've been doing, and also honoring who's been supporting you in that process and who's been with you on the journey. It might be time to just sink into and ground into what is growing, what is flourishing in your garden, what needs weeding away, and see where you are in this process. It's clear that you're working towards a specific goal. You're getting there. It takes time. It takes care. So make sure you're caring for yourself as much as you are your projects and processes. Capricorn Witches, Seven of Pentacles for Leo season. Feels fitting, Capricorn. Pentacles. All right, so now we're on to Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius, we have the Hanged Fae, and it is showing up reversed for you, which I think is a blessing. You can see this is the non-reversed way. But whenever I see the Hangman showing up reversed, it's a moment for me of realization, of acknowledgement of those pain points, acknowledgement of your own suffering, acknowledgement of your shadow, acknowledgement of those places where you might be slipping into martyrdom or victimhood. And it's a moment when you can really wake up to a more expansive aspect of yourself, a more truly like waking up to cosmic consciousness on some level. So if you've been struggling, if you've been feeling stuck, blocked in some way, this season, Leo season, might be the time where you have a breakthrough or a realization of some kind. This realization, this breakthrough will come through integration. So those Aquarius witches out there, make sure that you're creating time to integrate everything that you've been going through. Set aside time in your routine, set aside time in your schedule to just like be present with yourself, maybe outdoors. I'm seeing some outdoor grounding being really helpful, probably because the Fae beings are here with us today. But step out of your daily routine if you can. Get into another perspective, shift your consciousness, shift your awareness, and open yourself up to that realization. Open yourself up to the shifts that are possible for you. Aquarius, Hanged Man reverse. Breakthrough. Okay, so next is Pisces. Okay, jumper. Cards are jumping today. Okay, so Pisces, we have the Knave of Cups. Okay, so this is a page of cups. This is a sweet Page of Cups for our Pisces. So how appropriate. So Pisces folks, it's time for you to learn something new about your emotional process and to honor that your emotional process is shifting. Maybe your feelings, your desires, the way you express your emotions is also changing due to everything you've learned about yourself, all the layers you've shed this year. Tune into the sacred waters inside yourself and just notice what they're doing. Notice how they're changing, notice how they're shifting, how they're showing up for you. It's a time to be a student of your own being, a student of your own psyche, a student of your own selfhood. What is it looking like today? What is it feeling like? I would say beginner's mind in terms of an emotional reality. It could be a really helpful mantra for those Pisces witches out there. Acknowledging your shifts, acknowledging like the tides that are happening within you. Be a student of those tides and see what happens. Be playful in this process. Don't be too serious about it. Just enjoy learning something new about yourself this Leo season. Maybe you'll learn it from someone, an elder, perhaps. That's what I'm getting. Okay, so Aries. Aries, okay, the King of Wands. I love this for our fire signs are really pulling some heat in this Leo season. So we have the King of Wands for Aries. It's time to really utilize your fire for a larger purpose. What collective action can you contribute to that will support your own personal growth and also support the healing of the collective? It's time for you to tune into what type of leader you are and how you can show up with that fire in a really focused and egalitarian way. Not just serving yourself, but also serving the needs of others. You might find yourself in a role where you're mediating some type of situation. And I would say your role in that is to not get too attached to the outcome, but really to try to foster trust in your relationships with others. So Aries, you have some big energy to channel, I would say, this Leo season. So be mindful of your energetic output and input and maintain some type of equilibrium with the amount of fire you're running. Aries, King of Wands. Next, we have our Taurus witches. Taurus, Nine of Pentacles. Oh, this is such a cute card. So we have this Fae being like snuggling the mice friends. And they're like in a cornucopia basket of some kind. So Taurus folks, this feels very fitting for Taurus energy. This is again, like echoing that Queen of Pentacles vibe. Time to harvest what you've been growing this year. And I would say like when I see these cozy mice beings and they're taking a nap, like rest because you've generated so much for your community. You've created stability and abundance for yourself. And now it's time to honor that and just really rest and believe that it is going to stick. Believe that all the work you've done and everything that you've created thus far is fundamental and long lasting and is kind of fostering a legacy for yourself that you can really be assured about. So now it's time to really enjoy, to sink into the reality you've been building and honor it and celebrate it. So Taurus folks, enjoy this Leo season to the max and rest as much as possible. Okay, Gemini. Oh, sweet Gemini, you have the Two of Cups. So for those Gemini folks out there, this Leo season is all about connection and communication. I would say focus on your relationships, focus on honoring the relationship you have with yourself, with your own reflection, practice self-love and self-care, and also see how that practicing of love and self-care really echoes and ripples out into all of your relationships. It's a time for giving and receiving, and for making sure that the love you're giving is reciprocal to the love you're receiving. It's a time for honoring relationships of all kinds, and perhaps evaluating what relationships are truly in alignment with where you're headed in the coming months. So honestly, just really focus on romance, Geminis. How can you romance yourself, and how can that romantic alignment with self affect all your relationships? Lovely. Okay, last but not least, Cancers. This is weird, guys. Okay, so I pulled, look how similar the 8 and 9 of Swords are in this deck, because I just pulled the 9 of Swords for our Cancer folks, and I pulled the 8 of Swords earlier. I think it was for Libra. So this is the 8 of Swords, forlorn, and then the 9 of Swords, there's this beautiful bird kind of flying through with a gift. And so for Cancer folks, this 9 of Swords is really about seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. I think this Cancer season was very heavy, honestly. And as we transition into Leo season, it's time to let the sun kind of create ripples and reflections in the deep waters of that Cancer emotion, and maybe even dry up some of those like emotional burdens we've been holding. So this is about hope, hope for a better future, and also kind of pulling yourself out of yourself. Maybe getting into that bird's eye view, getting into the eagle mind, the eagle perspective, and having a higher, more broader vision of where life is taking you, where the universe is taking you, where your guides are pointing you on the path. So it might be a time to really try to get outside of yourself a little bit, Cancer folks, and just step into someone else's shoes, perhaps. It's not an easy thing to do by any means, but I would say the guidance that I'm getting from my guides right now is about tuning into nature and letting nature be your teacher. Pay attention to the birds, pay attention to the plants. Focus on what is growing around you, what is flourishing around you, how nature continues to drum on and shift and cycle and change. And maybe you can learn something from nature that will support you in letting go of some stress, letting go of some weight that you've been carrying around. I really hope that for you, Cancer witches. Okay, so I'm going to pull one final card for the collective. We had the Queen of Pentacles as our energy for Leo season, and I'm just going to pull another card to kind of support us in that, support all the zodiac signs in the process of growth and transformation. So I'm going to ask for a sacred tool for our collective growth and transformation at this time. Okay. Okay, so we have the Four of Pentacles, which is a really interesting tool. Four of Pentacles can be a place where we can often find resistance or stuckness. And I think for me, this is really speaking to that process in our growth and transformation where we do feel resistance to change, resistance to growth. This card is about taking inventory of what you have and what you focus on not having. So are you someone who's focusing on not having, or are you focusing on someone who's having? Are you focusing too much on the grief of the world and not enough on the joy and pleasure that you have access to as well? Take some time to really think about how you're balancing your energy around what you have access to and what you don't. If you're someone who has access to a lot and has some privilege, maybe it's time to offer your services, make donations, mutual aid, reparations. Perhaps it's also time for those who are really drawn into the grief of this present moment because it's exhausting and it's hard not to be. Really try to add elements of joy and pleasure to your day. How can you access that? So it's time to rebalance the scales and really think less in terms of the black and white or the binary, and think about the spectrum of how you can show up, the spectrum of what you can experience, and honor both sides of the coin. So we pulled 2 Pentacle cards for the collective for Leo season. So I just want to honor that it's a really amazing time to focus on resources, to focus on energy, energetic output and input, and also focus on your body. So find ways to honor and nourish your body as much as possible during Leo season, especially because it is kind of this, it's the final moment of summer. We're transitioning into fall next month. So find ways to really tune into that nourishment of the sun in ways that feels healing and supportive, and also fill your resources or stock your stores. That's kind of a weird thing to say, but you know, prepare your stores for winter is basically what I'm saying. Rest, nourish, fortify, energize, so that you can be prepared for this next phase of change, the harvest season. This has been so fun. I would love to hear your comments, your questions. If you want to follow up with a reading, I'm available, wandererstarot.com. My Instagram handle is wandererstarot. I'm Casey Zabala. I'm the founder of Witches Confluence, and it's been a pleasure to connect.